If you're accustomed to using word processing applications like Microsoft Word, for example, you may have used the Find or the Find and Replace feature. You know it can save you a ton of time if you're searching for a specific piece of text in a long document. Using Find will take you directly to whatever it is you're looking for. Using Find and Replace can save you a lot of time in finding those pieces of text that you need to replace with something else. Well, Visio is not a word processing application. It's a drawing application, but our drawings, as you can see, often have text in them. So having a find and replace or just a find feature can save us a ton of time in our drawings as well. So let's open up a drawing that has a little bit more text in it. We'll go to the Open button, navigate to the Lesson 11 folder of your exercise files, and you can double-click Process 11C, or one click and Open does the same thing. Now here's a diagram, looks like some kind of process flow that appears to be linked to some external data. So that could be a spreadsheet or a database, and the data from that spreadsheet or database is showing up, or at least some of it's showing up in the actual shapes on my drawing. So let's keep that in mind as we go through the Find feature first. We'll go up to the Edit menu and we'll click on Find. Now you see that Find has a keyboard shortcut, that's Control F, and also has these little binoculars icon. That means there's a button on our toolbar to accomplish this as well. So we'll click on Find right here. So we have a field here, Find What? What are we going to be looking for? And we can look for a piece of text that is located inside a shape, so shape text is selected here. It could be data, shape data. So if this is linked to external data, we can find that text as well, even though we're not in that application like Excel or Microsoft Access, for example. What about the name of the shape? Should we include that when we're looking for specific text? Yeah, we can, including user-defined cells as well. We can search in all the pages in a drawing, just the current page we're working on, or even narrow it down to a specific selection if we use our marquee select to select an area of our drawing, for example. So what are we going to look for? Well, why don't we look for service sales. Now I know that there's a number of these shapes that are tied to a service sales representative. Service sales is all we need. We don't need the third word, representatives. So all we need to do now is decide if we need to match case. So does my results have to be in uppercase at the beginning of each word like this? Or could they all be lowercase or all uppercase? If I match case, it has to appear exactly the way I typed it. I don't need to match case. And I don't need to match the character width as well. Look at that, I can even narrow it down to the width of the characters. So what I'm going to do is hit Find Next. And you can see this first box is highlighted. It's selected. But if you look inside the box, you're not going to find the word service sales. And if we go back to our dialog here, you can see that service sales was found in the shape data under owner. So if we look down below in the data, you can see that under the owner column, service sales does show up many times. So each time we hit Find Next, it's going to take us only to those shapes that contain the words service sales in the data in this case. Here it's jumping over to another one. Eventually, it doesn't find any more, and this dialog shows up. Visio has finished searching all pages, so we click OK. All right, let's hit Cancel. That is the Find feature. What about Find and Replace? Well, when we do a Find and Replace, we're looking for something, and we want to replace it with something else. Well, that means we cannot search in the data like we just did when we used the Find feature, because we're not allowed to replace data that's in an external source, for example, a spreadsheet. We would have to go into Excel to do a Find and Replace there if we wanted to change the data. So keep that in mind. We'll go up to the Edit menu and we'll click on Replace. So here you can see what I was looking for last, which is service sales. I'm going to change that to the word status. And I want to replace it with the words current status. I'm going to type those in. So I'm changing one word into two. So rather than going through each of the shapes in my diagram, finding the word status, clicking inside there, adding the word current, going to the next one and doing it, I can use Find and Replace. I got the same options as I had using Find, but down below my buttons are a little bit different. Find Next is going to take me to the first occurrence of the word status, and you can see it's highlighted here in this box. So now my options are to replace it, And if I do, it will replace it with current status and move to the next one, in which case I'd have to hit replace to do it again. So I'm going to hit replace. Sure enough, it now says current status over here, and it says status is selected, and it's going to be replaced if I click replace. But they're all the same. So to save a whole bunch of time, I'm going to click on replace all. It goes through every box, changes them all. You can see it says current status in every one of these, and I click OK when it's done and close up the find and replace dialog box. So I'm going to click out here outside of my drawing to see the end results. It now says current status in every single one of these shapes. So that is a huge time saver. Keep in mind, this is not a word processing application, but we do use text, so find and replace can save you a lot of time in Visio.